I don't like to ask what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. That I really ask crazy questions like, have you been arrested?
Yeah.
And somebody actually legit answered that question and we hired that person.
And we live by one of our nonprofits, and the name of that nonprofit is Be Good, Do Good, and Spread Good. We just treated our team how we wanted to be treated. I would have loved free food at Chase. I would have loved a paid break,
Yeah.
all these extra perks. I would have loved massage chairs. So these things that we think of for ourselves is why not extend that to our team members?
Yeah.
It only makes sense.
We have healthcare. We have the free gym membership.
Mhm.
Before we did free lunch, we actually had a private chef. If you think about it, our team is the ones that are closer to our customers than even we are.
We actually closed shop an hour early. We head to the bowling alley, which is just a few minutes down the road, and we've got pizza, drinks, and wings, and we have a good time. And they can stay longer if they want. And we just have a little party, and they still get paid.
According to you, why do you think we kept extending all these perks that we have?
All right, welcome back to the MakerFlo Making with Purpose podcast, episode number 5. And today we're going to be talking about the culture behind the brand and how MakerFlo is built in more than just a business.
That's right. Started a long time ago.
Yeah, it's about 15 years ago we've been in business, and I feel like company culture is something that doesn't always get talked about very much, and I feel like we don't even discuss it as much as we should in our own business and bring it up to our customers as much as it should. But MakerFlo isn't just built on products. It's actually built on our team and our culture and our team's family, and it goes a long ways, and it's not just about the products.
Yeah, I think we established our culture a long time ago, and we'll kind of get into that. But it's definitely been an integral part of our business, and I think something that a lot of folks might not understand or know is that it, it it plays a big part in bringing it all together. I feel like it's that sort of your grocery bag that all the groceries go in and it holds it all together, right?
Yeah.
And nobody gives value to the plastic grocery bag. Either they toss it or put it in the drawer and we forget about it. But remember, that's what brought it all together to your home to support you. And I think it's a valuable part of owning your own business is being that support. So I think that culture really plays heavily into what MakerFlo really became.
Yeah, I feel like it's something you have to consider when you're starting a business or a side hustle. Even if it's just yourself or you're working with one other person, you can have culture with just yourself, right? You can
100%.
you can give yourself some time, to relax and give back to yourself as your cultural perks and stuff. So it's something that you should always be thinking about, whether it's just yourself or whether you have a team of employees and stuff like that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think in our past few podcasts, which I hope everyone takes the time to kind of go back and hear where Mark and I are doing what we can to sort of talk about our experiences over time and really help a lot of the folks that are maybe starting in your garage, or maybe you're in the basement, or maybe this is just a side hustle for you and you're not sure where this goes. Because remember, we had those doubts ourselves. We started what was it, like pretty much kind of right out after college, and we had no clue. Like we didn't know what we wanted to do, and we were kind of lost. And so Mark and I are doing the best we can to kind of share our experience. So everyone that is a small business, or maybe you're not in a small business and maybe you're on that up and up, and we want to make sure that um, we're helping you grow wherever you are. And I think for this episode, I'm really excited about, because like you said, culture is not something that you think of in the beginning. You're thinking about, you know, where can I save money? What's a good supplier? What's a good machine? Where do I sell, like Etsy or Shopify? Or
Mhm.
you're thinking about all these things, but keep in mind that's like going to the grocery store and going into the aisle and going into the vegetable aisle. But what you bring back, that plastic bag, that's important. That's what keeps it organized. That's what keeps it together, and that's what really like brings it home, so to speak,
Yeah.
right? So let's get started.
Yeah, I know from the get-go of us doing business together, with our experience, we have a lot of corporate experience. And so I think we have a lot of trauma from our corporate experiences on the cultures that were established in those office spaces, at those cubicles, at those small desks, at those tight hours. That really brought a lot of attention to our culture when we started. And so I think from the get-go, we were very focused on culture because of our experiences. I worked for Chase Bank for 8 years, and I just remember, like, the dog days, man, in and out, like, showing up, showing out, and then just getting the wrath beat down on you, and there was really no culture, and everyone kinda stayed to themselves, and you brought your lunch and you just went in the back and had your lunch and you got back to the grind and you're hitting the phones and you had, KPIs to meet and it wasn't really much fun. And you get to the point where you didn't enjoy going to work. I think that's the pivotal moment that we experience in our corporate jobs that we never wanted ourselves to experience, but let alone our team to experience as well. Because we knew that if our team felt that way of dreading to come to work, they're not gonna bring the value that we're expecting to the business and to help us grow. And so that's what I remember from Chase is kinda just, I don't want MakerFlo to have that kind of culture of a corporate environment. And you worked corporate for 10 years at one company, right?
Yeah, and just so you know, one of the big reasons that I haven't shaved is because of well, part of our culture, right?
The barber, we've been trying to bring in a barber,
Yeah.
as our culture,
Well,
We've
well,
brought in massage therapists before,
we
talked
have.
about that.
We have. And so I think the important thing is, like, I think we learned a lot we learned a lot from our corporate jobs, and we learned about what we didn't want, right? And we wanted to make sure. I remember in the early days we were like, okay, this is how we're gonna run things, right? And we're gonna make sure we don't do this, and we don't do this because we don't like it, right? And so we made sure we incorporated that, and even to this day, like, a lot of those things are incorporated. We're gonna talk about some of those things that we've never disclosed, on about MakerFlo, the inside workings of MakerFlo, and how our vision and our culture from the early days. When I say early days, it literally means the early days, has sort of shaped like where MakerFlo is at and how it works. So, but yeah, I think the early corporate experience for us it really it really shaped how we shape MakerFlo, and I think MakerFlo is different than all the other corporates out there, or not all, but like I would say a large percentile of it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, it's a pat on the back when you have a list of people that wanna come work for you. That means you're doing something right, and your culture is something that people are attracted to, and people are willing to,
yeah.
jump ship and come work for you because of your culture. That's a huge factor for
Yeah.
MakerFlo.
Yeah, I think the one of the coolest stats is, one of our team members, is about to celebrate 10 years,
Mm,
and MakerFlow is only 5 years old. So, obviously we've had multiple businesses. So, I think majority of the folks at MakerFlow are now celebrating their 5 years,
yeah,
which is wild to me. I think there's only like 1 or 2 people that are like maybe on their first year. But other than that, everyone else is celebrating, even vendors, and even I think our manufacturer Junior, we've been with them for 8 years or something,
yeah,
like 7 or 8 years. So, I think it really goes to show that, we could talk about culture. We could be on this podcast and say that, "Hey, like, culture," and I ChatGPT'd it, but I think it's a testament that we do have folks that have been here for a long time. So, it's a testament to, the culture that we've built. It works. So
yeah.
let's talk about it.
Let's see here. So, when did you first realize that culture mattered for yourself as an entrepreneur and starting a business?
Yeah. So I think, I would have to say, fortunately, it was very, very early on, right? When we had started, I feel like we were one of the first in the group of one of the first people that were sort of like a garage business, right? And we started out in a garage. And I think the two of us were taking so much on between working our corporate job and then working at your house. And the dynamics were completely different.
Mhm.
Coming to your house to work and then going and working with a team of 20, 30 people at the corporate job was like a totally different thing, right? And at one place you had lunch break and you were dilly-dallying. At another place we never ate, right? And we were working our butts off. And I think we were so scrambled and we were doing so much that it was almost like my example, like what is holding us together?
Yeah.
Right? And I think it was like in the early days when we were at your house that we were like, "Man, we need to do something about it." And I think what really triggered it, was, the first team member that we hired. We've never had anybody under us.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you wanna talk about that, but I think this story is gonna resonate as far as,
Yeah.
uh
I think we like intentionally, unintentionally created a culture because we knew what we didn't want, like you said, with our corporate jobs. So then when we started our own business, we're like, oh crap, we're at the point we need to hire some people to help us out. And we didn't really have a structured culture. It just kind of evolved and it kind of came along because we treated people how we wanted to be treated.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's the pivotal point of the description of our culture and how it started.
Yeah.
So one of our first team members was Charles, and he was one of our graphic designers. I just remember him sitting on the couch working, watching the ESPN. Okay, it was part of our culture. You can work and watch sports. That's pretty cool.
No, you can't.
And we're like, turn that TV off, Charles. And he's just reclined back, designing away. And 12 o'clock rolls by, 1 o'clock rolls by, 2 o'clock rolls by, and then he just like stops us, and he's like, "Are we going to eat at any point?" We're just like, "Oh yeah, about that eating thing." Me and you we would just work all day, our corporate jobs, all day, our entrepreneurship jobs, and we would just forget about eating because you're just grinding it out.
Yeah.
It's like screw eating. We got money to make, moves to make. Let's go. And so Charles stopped us and was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna eat." And we're like, "Oh crap, yeah, we need to feed this guy. It's like a baby. You gotta feed the baby." And so at that point, from day one, we fed Charles and we started catering lunch.
Well, I think what happened was we were so, I mean, we were in our journey, we were so young in our journey that Charles was like, "I'm gonna go get lunch," but we didn't want to stop production.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, and we were
I'm
like,
gonna leave and I'm gonna go get lunch. Right?
yeah, and Market and you and I were like, "Well, if you're gonna go get lunch, like get lunch." And then we're like, "You know what? Like if you're gonna go and get lunch for us, like we'll pay for your lunch, you know?"
Yes.
And then we were like, "Oh, well, if Charles is gonna go get lunch every day," and we started paying for lunches, and then we were just like, "Okay, this is kind of a cool perk," and he really enjoyed it. Like it was good for him, and it worked for you. I mean, it worked for us, and we were like, "This," and so we started doing that. And then as more team members came on, I think we just kept it. And we were like, "This is a good perk," and everyone enjoyed the perk. And I think to this day, the last survey we took, the number one perk is the free lunches.
It's kind of a win-win because for the business, they don't have to really check out mentally all that way because they can stay, at the place of business. They don't have to waste their time and spend their time traveling to go
Yeah,
get the food,
pay for the
pay
food.
for the food, and travel back. And then, oh yeah, I got to eat the food. Like, boom, half of your break is already gone. So we
And you're
expedited that and we brought the food to them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, imagine like going at lunchtime and fighting the rest of the workforce in a to go or in a line. Like this is a waste of time. But now, lunch, like even today, that I mean, so that perk has stayed at MakerFlo for since we started, right? And every day lunch comes to MakerFlo, so nobody has to leave if you don't want to. Lunch will come. You go to break, you get your lunch, and you can leave, or you could just stay, and you get more time to rest, and you don't have to be stressed out like, oh my gosh, I have to go get lunch and things like that. So yeah, I think that was like a really cool perk. But I think that was our first. Kind of got our first feet wet on what culture means, and I think that was the first time we were like, hey, this actually is very meaningful. It means a lot to the team members. And I think that was like our first thing, like, hey, we need to keep working on that. We need to keep like building a culture and working on it. Now, something I do want to tell folks is we don't really have like a back then when we were starting, there was no like Chat GPT, right? There was no like Google Doc or Google thing like where this is like how a culture should be. So we were just kind of winging it. Like there's no like perfect way of doing this. And I think even till this day, it's the same way. Like it's adjusting and it's trying to figure it out and like kind of moving, with the times. Um, I think another thing that we implemented that was pretty cool was that I used to hate I remember when we used to work the corporate job, we used to work 9 to 5, or I think it was like 8 to 5, and it was like 8 hours of work and 1 hour of lunch. And I think a lot of folks even today that work for MakerFlo don't really kind of understand this, but we technically work. Uh, we're only at MakerFlo for 8 hours.
Mhm.
And of that 8 hours, then we take a 1 hour lunch, and we don't have anyone clock out, right? And so you're actually technically working 7 hours, but you're paid for the 1 hour lunch, and you get paid lunch.
Yeah.
So I think that I thought something that's something we've implemented like since the beginning. As one of the perks that I love because it takes the stress off, um, you know, everyone I feel, and you get your 8 hours, and you get to chill, you get to eat in peace, and you're not stressed out. And I think it's like one of my favorite things that I love to offer everybody.
Yeah.
So
I know when we did a survey on our team members, the number one perk that MakerFlow has is the free food,
yeah,
and then on top of that, you get you get paid to eat, you don't have to clock out.
Correct.
And that's phenomenal. I can spend 1 extra hour a day with things that matter to me, like family and friends and outside hobbies and activities
Yeah.
that we're giving back to them as a thank you for working hard when you are here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and, yeah, and I think I've been very grateful that we've been able to do that, and that when we and I would also say that I appreciate, you know, it as business owners, it's things you have to decide, like, whether you're starting out or whether you're matured, whether it's worth it. I think that's a question that you would ask, like, is that worth it? Like, you're spending money, it's an expense,
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure there's business owners that are like, "Well, that doesn't make sense. Why would I pay them a paid break and pay for their food? Like, what are they doing for me? How does that help me?"
Yeah,
And you really have to think deeper than that because it's not about you, it's about the team,
yeah,
and it's about everybody,
yeah.
everyone's happiness.
Yeah, like I go to our lunch, break room, which funnily enough is in the weirdest place where everyone congregates. But
Well, no, we have an excellent break area, but they don't like to use it for some reason.
well, yeah, the upstairs literally built it out for it, but like two people sit there, and the rest of the people sit in the smallest break room. But you should, if you go in that break room, it's always intriguing because they're just having the best conversations, and they're having a great time, and they spent their hour there. And I've stopped badgering them about going upstairs. I'm like, go upstairs. We like bought these massage chairs and this and that, but they just really like that 400 square foot room where they cram six people and eat together. And I honestly, at the end of the day, like that was the whole point, that everyone eats together, talks together, hangs out together, and, like, I appreciate that, like, seeing that.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think from day one, culture was the core, of our business, and like I said, we just, like, treated our team how we wanted to be treated, you know?
Yeah.
I would have loved free food at Chase. I would have loved a paid break,
Yeah.
all these extra perks. I would have loved massage chairs. So these things that we think of, like, for ourselves is like, why not extend that to our team members?
Yeah.
It only makes sense. We spend more time with the people we work with than we do, so much of people at home or family members that live somewhere else.
It's true.
So let's, like, have a good time while we do it, and let's enjoy our time together.
Yeah.
So that's kinda how all these things spiraled into awesome perks and an awesome culture.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So there's, with building a culture, um, I think, big thing, I think what it led for us is building the culture. Maybe you wanna talk a little bit about, understanding your why, right? There's no reason for us to do all this.
Yeah.
So, like, why are we doing all this? Because that's only 2 of the perks we have. We haven't even gotten to Dr. K.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to the other perks we have. But, like, why, according to you, why do you think we kept extending all these perks that we have and kept building our culture? And why do we do this?
Yeah, I think if people were to ask, what matters to MakerFlo, and we live by one of our nonprofits, and then the name of that nonprofit is Be Good, Do Good, and Spread Good. And so we'll break that down, and that's the pillars that we've built our culture on. And actually, I have one of the original,
This is, like, 6 years old.
points of culture.
Yeah.
And so be good. We believe that each person should be good to themselves. It's important to be committed to a quality lifestyle that includes a balance of spiritual, social, physical well being, having faith and family at the core, taking ownership of your self worth, and having a positive mindset to reach your goals day in and day out, which will play a vital role in holding yourself accountable. The pillar of this concept is to have the courage to deliver what you promise to yourself and others. That is what be good is all about.
Mhm.
And then we've got do good. So just kind of the opposite. And this is doing good unto others. This means to treat others how they want to be treated. And with the highest level of excellence and integrity, it's important to have strong communication skills to empower others through positive conversations. Do good by educating people from your life experiences to help them grow, learn, and master their own path in life. Maintain the consistency in your efforts to do good, and it will result in mutual growth and self-development. So when we bring a new team member on, we share this with them, and even like during our interviews,
Yeah.
we share this with them to see how that hits with them. And then the third point is spread good. So we believe if you be good and you do good, naturally you're going to spread goodness, and um, it's going to result in this spread of good, which is abundance of gratitude in all areas of life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. We have it on all our shirts, and we have it on our gear. Even the shirts that we have that folks can, like, use their credit and stuff they all have the be good, do good, spread good message, and that's like the three pillars we live by. And I think our culture over time, and we're trying to we're going over this now, so the rest of the podcast sort of makes a little more sense. But essentially, what the whole story is that we started with this one, you know, perk, and it was because we wanted a good culture, we wanted a good team, and it fizzled into be good, do good, spread good, right? And that's the reason why we did. We found our why, like, hey, this is why we're doing MakerFlo. And in order to get here, there's a lot more than just you and I in this equation, right? It's not just it's not just you and I. There's a lot of stuff involved, and that's what we learn. Like when you have your business, when you're starting out, it's not just you and your husband or you and your son, daughter. It's a whole world out there that's supporting you and you that's supporting them, right? And when you build your culture and you know your why and you know all that, you can really harness it all, get everyone on your team, build that community and build your business and build your brand, right? So let's go on to the next topic real quick. And let's like work on defining our culture, and let's get more into what other perks and what other culture we have at MakerFlo, and sort of like how we built it up over the years and what it's like to really like
Yeah.
work here.
You got like Santa's list, like that scroll,
Yeah, yeah.
all the
Well,
awesome culture and the perks we do.
yeah. So I would love to start out with when we had started, sort of as we built our culture, right? So what I think this is going to be a little confusing, but there were stages and there were steps. The perks kind of came in. Then we're like, okay, why are we doing this? Then in figuring out why we were giving these perks and why these people are involved in our business, because as we grow our business, we're like, okay, well, we have team members and we have family members and we have vendors and we have all these people. You question, like, what are you doing? Why are there so many people involved, right? And to kind of harness that in, before we even came up with be good, do good, spread good. Um, there were these other five pillars that we came up with.
Okay.
So you want to get into what, because we defined our culture once before the be good, do good, spread
Yeah.
good. So let's talk about that, because I really want people to understand that we didn't go from A to Z in one go. It's a step by step thing. It's understanding who you are, why you're this way, who's involved, and it's kind of building that culture around you and building your why around you. And I think kind of go hand in hand. So our little second foray into building our culture was these five things that we want to cater to. I don't know if you want to
Yeah,
start
there's
talking about them.
basically, five stakeholders that are involved in our business. Number one, it's us as the owners, right? So we got to be able to take care of ourselves and be healthy and to bring the energy every day. And number two, it's our team members. And I hate saying the word employees. It
Yeah.
just has such a negative connotation. So you won't typically see John and I saying, "Oh, my employee," "Oh, my worker." No, they're team members.
Yeah.
Part of the team.
Yeah.
Employee is like, you work for me and you do what I say. It's like, no, it goes both ways. I want to hear feedback from you and I'll give you feedback. We're a team. Let's do it together. Um, so our team is the number two stakeholders. They're the vital blood and pulse of the business.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are in touch with the customers. They're the ones packaging the orders. They're on the phones. They're on the emails. They're at trade shows.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if you think about it, our team is the ones that are closer to our customers than even we are. Right? They're touching the that last product. They're dealing with our influencers or our vendors, and a lot of times, like, you and I are making decisions, but they're the ones that are truly like actually making the difference. And I think that respect needs to be given, and that's why I don't like calling. It's weird for me to call someone an employee. It just almost feels derogatory to me.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Like, I'll catch myself saying, like, I'll be like, "No, team member," right? So I think that's a shift that even we've made. We don't call anybody. I hate it when Tim calls us his owners. I don't know if you know that, but I freaking hate that. I'm like, "No, call me like your team member. Like, we're a team in
We're
this, you know?"
regular people.
Yeah.
We want to be cool just like you.
Yeah, Tim will always go around and be like, "Yeah, these are my owners." I'm like, "But we're not his owners."
Yeah. We can hang out outside of work, I'm just a normal guy, yeah, come on now. But yeah, so we have us, the owners, we have the team members, and then the third stakeholder, I would say, is the vendors and the suppliers.
Yes.
We wanna instill that same type of culture with their vendors that, it's not just about the price, it's about the quality. It's about the team members in that factory or with that supplier and how they treat each other. They gotta be aligned to us too. You know, we don't work with factories that don't treat their teams well,
Yes.
you know? That's huge for us because this goes full circle. Be good, do good, spread good.
Correct.
You can't spread good if our supplier has a crappy team and they don't like coming to work because of the way they get treated.
Yeah.
That's not gonna fly.
Yeah, and these things are you're absolutely right, and this is where it matters when you're on that QA table. This is just an example, right? And if you extend that, and like we go to China for a reason. It's so even we work on the lines. So when they see us on the lines picking up boxes, they're like, "Oh my gosh, like these guys are like hands on. When I do their stuff, they pay more attention, right? They're in it. They're like, no, I'm part of this, right? And I think it's very important as far as a team culture that everyone is involved and as if you're the owner of a business, even if it's your child working, you need to give them that attention, right? And you need to make sure that you're taking care of them. And I think our vendors and extended team, who could be like, outside teams that we're working with, um, we go beyond just like this morning we had a new team. We go beyond just talking to them about numbers or like what they need to do. No, we tell them what the vision is.
Mhm.
We tell them what the future looks like, right? If you're part of the MakerFlow circle, you are part of the team, right? And I think that's super important to give that respect back to everyone that touches you.
Yeah, I feel like everybody wants to be you wanna be a part of something just naturally,
Yeah,
right? Whether you're in a car club or you're into movies and sci-fi stuff, like, you wanna be a part of some sort of club,
yeah,
and so that's basically what we've made. It's the MakerFlow Club.
yeah,
If you're gonna work here, if you're gonna be a part of this team as a vendor, supplier, if you're gonna be a part of our extended team, we want you to feel a part of it, wholesomely.
absolutely. And if you're a business owner and if you have vendors outside, that you might purchase with and things like that, it's something that you can also look out for. It's like, is this person like a sleazy salesman or are they a part of your team?
I got a great example. What
Yeah.
happened today?
Today.
So, when we talk about, stakeholders, vendors, and suppliers, it happened just a few minutes, like an hour or so ago. You're talking to a made in America,
Oh,
supplier that we might work with. And they're kind of new, right? They're just getting their things going. They haven't really sold wholesale before, but they love the opportunity to work with us.
yeah.
And she came back to you with a price for these cutting boards, and you were 100% honest with her. And you said, I don't think that price is right. It sounds too low. You told her literally, "It sounds too low." Right? And wow, who says that? You're the one buying and you're the one spending from her, but you're being upfront and honest and truthful, like, "It just doesn't sound right." And what did she say back to you? She asked you, "Well, can you help me price this? Because this is new to me." And you have her respect, John from MakerFlo, and she's looking up to you to
Yeah.
help her price this. And I thought that was just incredible. Like, that's what MakerFlo is all about. We're not looking to lie, cheat, and steal. No, we want to build everybody up. And you came back to her and you talked to her a little bit more about, where she's at in her business and what price she should be at, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, at some point when you have the culture and you believe in the culture and you believe in that why, I it's automatic, right? And yeah, I mean, I don't it's for the betterment of everybody. I didn't gonna bring this up. So I gotta kind of get my thoughts here, but it's for the betterment of everybody. At the end of the day, like I try not to look at the today, right? Like today, like for the price that you gave me, I wanted to just be like, oh my gosh.
Well, to me, it's like you're looking out for her. You want her business to be sustainable. You don't want her wheels to fall off when one piece of equipment goes down. I mean, she wasn't charging enough to replace that. Like,
Yeah.
these are things that we've maybe been through that she hasn't yet,
Right.
and we're looking out for her.
Right. And what a terrible, like I would hate for it's just yeah. And I think that's what it is. Like that experience, I just didn't feel right. Like it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was just like, yeah, something's not right. Like
you're doing good.
I'm
You're following the three.
we're trying. And it sounds ridiculous. And I told her that. I'm like, I know this sounds ridiculous. Like I can't just like I just order because it's just too cheap, Like, but I don't wanna go two months down the road and them be in a problematic situation, right? And then it hurts everybody, right? And it doesn't service anybody. So we create this relationship and she's priced too low. And if something goes wrong, and then all of a sudden it's a domino effect and it goes all the way back full circle, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't help her, doesn't help us, it doesn't help the
Now you're
customer.
spreading bad. You're
Not,
not spreading good.
well, it's yeah, it could be pivoted and fixed, but it's just, it'll cause problems for everyone. And if we can help people, like, I mean, in this case, I guess ourselves and everybody,
Yeah.
to negate that, to not have that, and it's because of these thoughts and these things we have, then why not? This is the whole point of this. We have this culture, but the thing is that you have to believe in it.
Yeah, it's is instilled in our blood. Like, you did that naturally without
Yeah.
having to think, "Wait, what's right? What's wrong? What should I do? What would John do? WWJD."
Let's start another thing. But yeah, that was a conversation that, yeah. Anyways, but yes, you have to look out for everybody. You have to. I mean, this is your team. These are the folks. Whether it's here, whether, like I said, in Alaska, Fiji Islands,
Yes.
penguins, whatever it is, they're your team that are going to help you grow,
Yeah.
that are going to help them grow, and that's going to help the industry grow. So you have to make a decision in your culture. Who are you here for? If
Mhm.
you're just in it for yourself, then, and there's no community in mind, it's going to be difficult to grow your business into a brand and into something multinational. And so I think we've realized that, and that's why everything we do is so communal. Everything we have.
Yeah.
But okay, so
So, what are we at? 3 of
so
our
we had
stakeholders?
three. So we have owners, meaning the two of us have to be right, right? We have to be right to each other. We have to be right to everyone else. The team, we have to make sure that the stakeholders, which is our team members, are good. Then our vendors and suppliers, we need to make sure that we take care of them and we're good to them, and we're right to them. And then the next one here I have is our extended team. So talk a little bit about the extended teams.
Gosh, I mean, that's almost everyone else. Extended team, what comes to mind is like our contractors,
Mm-hmm.
our guys that come and fix the roof and repair the doors and the drywall from the forklift. Like, that's our extended team.
Yeah.
Our FedEx delivery drivers that come pick up and bring us packages and take the trucks away. What do? We offer them to come in. Hey, go to the break room, grab a drink from our open fridge
Yeah.
and snacks. Like, have at it. You're part of our team. We want you to succeed. We want you to enjoy coming here and picking up our packages. We want to make sure that you don't throw our packages around and crush them.
Yeah.
We give respect to you. You give respect to our boxes naturally.
Yeah.
You know, extended team also would be like other team members we have across the world.
Our marketing team, blog writer, like, yeah.
Our advertising marketing team, yeah, all these other teams outside of like our team physically here
Yeah.
would be extended.
Yeah, and we do our best to service them by showing our vision, by including them in our, as many meetings as we can, and making sure that they know what's going on, and making sure that their face is on the MakerFlo's website if it needs to be that way, and just making sure that they're involved and taken care of as well. Like, and I think the biggest thing with outside teams is just giving them the respect that they deserve. I think a lot of companies just think like, oh, it's outside a hired team. Like, I don't need to have a relationship with them because it's just some random person. But no, everyone that comes in, like, my goal is always to make them laugh.
Yeah,
My goal is to always, get a little bit personal and just get to know a little bit about them, and just let them know, like,
we care.
this matters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
care.
cares. Yeah,
And if we
exactly.
care, then they're most likely going to care as well.
Yeah, hopefully. But I mean, it's not a requirement, but I just want to let them know, like, I do care, like, I'm here because I care. So I think that's another big thing. And again, these things, like, most companies will not go that deep. They keep their relationships really, you know, short so they can cut people out, but I don't think you really need to.
Yeah.
We've this has worked wonders for us. But the last one, which probably should have been a little bit higher on the list, but let's talk about the
These
last.
are in no particular order.
Yeah. Yeah. So the fifth thing that's most important.
Is the
Well,
families of everybody that's impacted from our business. And if we specifically talk about our team members' families, that's very important to us because we want to make sure that they're healthy and they're doing well and they're bringing a positive attitude to the homes that they go back to after their shifts and after they're done working. So we try to keep those people in mind as well. When we do team activities, we have certain team activities and outside events that we do that our team members' families are invited to as well.
yeah.
We've done, remember we rented out the whole movie theater.
Yeah.
Everyone got to bring their families, and we had like, what was it, like 60, 70 seats to fill.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And people brought their kids, their mom and dads, their uncles and aunts, and we watched a premiere of a new movie, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that goes deeper than just clocking in and clocking out. It shows that we care about our team and their families, and then it just works its way back around.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's that. I do think about that a lot because I feel like we're so grateful that someone's husband, somebody's wife, someone's dad, or what whoever it is, your significant other is letting this person come and work for us for a third of their life. That's
Mhm.
the way I look at it. Third of the life you're sleeping,
Mhm.
and a third of the life or more you're at your job. And I think you and I need to really make sure that one is everyone taken care of. Is everyone safe? Like, does 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 everyone have what they need, and to the best way we can help and be there for them. So I think and it's good too because I feel like hopefully it de-stresses relations and situations as well. So
Yeah.
I think as a whole, I think it's a lot that we have to think about. I think it's easier not to do it, but I feel like we've built I think we've built something here that everyone hopefully loves coming to work. Hopefully, enjoys interacting with each other and build relationship with
Yeah.
each other.
So do you wanna talk about, more defining, like, okay, what does MakerFlo actually do for their culture? We mentioned a few things, let's talk more about what we do. And then maybe we can talk about, why we do that and what difference it makes. Because I'm sure business owners are like, wow, you really do that? How does that make an impact?
Yeah. So let's give the Dr. K a little bit on that subject.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good one, right? Because that was one of the perks we added. That I think when we had come up with the five stakeholders, right? Something needed to really bind that together a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And one of the big things that was happening at MakerFlo was that a lot of folks were they were going through a rough time, especially during COVID and stuff, right? And there was just a lot of stuff going on, and we made a decision that we wanted to have a life coach and kind of a psychologist come in and come to MakerFlo and be there for our team members. And we tried to do it through insurance, but that was did not work.
Yeah.
I guess insurance doesn't care, but
They have some options, but I just feel like insurance options are like inauthentic.
yeah.
Those people there are just there for their paycheck. I mean, you call in or whatever, or you Zoom with somebody through your health insurance.
But it also had
Right.
to do outside of work. Like, you had to do it outside of work, right? That would've made it difficult. But,
Mhm.
what we're talking about is, Dr. K. So Dr. K is someone that I think he's on our website too. We have him,
Yeah.
and, he's basically a life coach, and we met Dr. K, and I had a pleasure to meet you, Dr. K. He's an awesome guy. We wanna have him on the podcast sometime in the future. He talks about some great things, and, Dr. K is actually our private, life coach and kinda psychologist, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a health mentor. Yeah.
A health mentor, yeah, and Mark and I actually see him as well, and, we try to see him on a monthly basis, but our team members have always had access to Dr. K for any serious, you know, anything serious that they might be going through, or he comes on a monthly cadence or biweekly cadence now, and he basically meets everyone for about 30 minutes. So everyone has access to him, and the cost to everybody is nothing. So that's something that Mark and I personally pay for everybody to see Dr. K. And Dr. K was an addition we made because we wanted to make sure that all these 5 things were being handled,
Yeah.
right? Like, all our team members were in a good spot mentally. If they were going through something, Dr. K was there for them. We've also offered, some of our team members to have their spouses or their family over if they're going through anything. And Dr. K he's a cool guy. So he's like, yeah, whatever, like whatever you need. You want your kids to come, and he opens his sessions for our team members to come to show up and talk to him. And you don't have to even he's just like, just come talk to me. You don't have to even have something going on. Like, I'm open to just, if you need someone to talk to. And
Yeah.
I think that really Dr. K really brought all this together even more, because he was able to take our company culture, and I feel like he gets to speak to everybody, and he gets to really instill our culture, but then at the same time help everyone in their personal situation, work situation, or what have you.
Yeah. When Dr. K, when I met him, gosh, was it 5 years ago? It was during COVID, and I was having a lot of anxieties during COVID of what was going on. People are getting sick. Like, what's going to happen to us? What's going to happen to the business? And I met Dr. K as a life coach, and I was like, man, I would love to. get the opportunity to speak to you, you know, and he gave me a free session and
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wow. And I think I called you right away. I'm like, dude, this was like incredible,
Yeah.
you know, and Dr. K loved what we were doing with MakerFlo and our culture and stuff, and how we cared about our people. And I was like, man, if I'm going through this, I'm sure the rest of my team's going through this. There's no way I could hold Dr. K hostage to this. But Dr. K was really, he only had a structure just for working like one on one with individuals. He had never worked with a business before.
Correct.
So I proposed it to Dr. K like, hey, how can we make something work where my team can have access to you? Because the sessions that we're starting to have are phenomenal for me, to be able to speak to somebody and to be able to open up and to be able to get advice, you know, from somebody that is as educated as him in that industry in that field. And he was open enough to structure something for us, and we made tweaks along the way. But now it's awesome that all of our team members get access to him, and we have a 90% opt-in rate of people that see him on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I think that number 90% is phenomenal because most team members that work for other companies don't participate in the regular, you know, available options and perks like something like Dr. K.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've had a lot of folks go through, a lot of things, and I think one of the coolest things that really speaks to our culture, and I think this is what you were saying is why you got Dr. K, is that Dr. K says that what surprises him the most about our team and what we've built as a culture is how many times people have given up their slot
Mm,
because they saw someone else suffering more than them.
yeah. That's
If
a
that doesn't speak to the culture that's been built here and what's been instilled and how our team is, I don't know what does, because that's incredible. Because getting a Dr. K appointment is also like it's difficult.
yeah.
Yeah. So he's usually booked out with us for at least a month or so, and we usually see them about once a month or so. Because we have team members on a cycle, but I think that's incredible that somebody sees someone else suffering or somebody else sees that they need it more than they do, and they're willing to give their slot up for Dr. K. So I think that's
Yeah.
really
I
awesome.
mean, that's really our team following the 3 pillars of doing good, you
Yeah.
know, and to be able to offer that to somebody. You know, I see that often with our team, you know, is like they just they do what's right, you know, they do what's right when nobody's looking, and that's all I ask, you know,
Yeah.
we give our team members all these perks, and people are probably listening like, "Wow, this is incredible. Why would you do that?" But I wanna be able to come to my team and say, "Hey, you have all the perks in the world. Do what's right when nobody's looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta do that. Just do what's right when nobody's looking because I'm giving you every opportunity to succeed, right? And then you give them all the tools to succeed. There should be limited reasons why there's any failures. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, hey, we gave you food, we gave you access to Dr. K, we gave you health benefits, we did all these things. We're trying to build you up so you can be successful.
Yeah. And you're not talking about successful at MakerFlo.
No,
No.
as a person.
Just in life,
Yes,
right? That and
that's what we care about.
that's it. Yeah. And I think that that's the crux of it is our culture has grown from the business to something even bigger. And I think and just so everybody again understands, it's always a moving target because I think we just had another MakerFlo pivot as far as what MakerFlo is going to be about in 2026. And it all comes but the core of it's always been these 5 pillars. The core of it's always been be good, do good, spread good. But we've changed like what we're aiming for, but the core has always been the same. And like understanding that why and formulating that culture is so important because it sets us as the owners, right? One of the 5, it sets us to a path. But then the other 4 people in there, we can also set them on the same path if we understand the culture and the together, So I think that's wonderful. So let's move on to a new topic here. Um, so we have here people first, hiring growth and alignment and alignment. So let's talk a little bit about how sort of hiring and stuff works at Maker. So we're talking about how our culture is, and kind of the perks we have and things like that. But talk a little bit about how the hiring process is out here because it's not normal.
Well, when you have a badass culture, you don't have to hire because people, like I said, are waiting on a wait list to come work for you. So that makes it a little bit easier. But as we grew rapidly over the last few years, you know, we did have to hire a lot as well. Um, but it's an interesting process that we have, you know, when it comes to hiring with our culture. And I think when people hear about it is they're like, there's no way that's true, you know? And sometimes the problem we have with our existing team and we have to pull things back and change some of the perks and whatnot is gratitude as well. And, our team has to be appreciative of these perks, and if they're not appreciating it, then maybe we pull things back and maybe it didn't mean that much to them anyways. Like we've built out the whole PlayStation area and everything else and no one plays it.
Yeah.
And we thought it was going to be cool, but they don't like it. So, we tried and we missed on that one. But when it comes to hiring, I know, John, you never look at the resumes. You
Yeah. I have not read one
I'll
resume.
print it for you. I'll be like, "Here you go," and you're just like, "I don't wanna see that," that doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's I thought that was always funny, but then when I started thinking about it, I'm like, "Wow, yeah, like, who cares, like, where they came from? It's about where you're going," you know? Yeah, you've got experiences, bad or good, but wanna know who you are, what you care about, and where you see yourself going forward, um, because we try to see the good in everybody. I think that's the important part when we hire is what makes somebody tick, and is it a good tick,
Yeah.
And if they're a good person, then most likely we want that kind of person.
Yeah. And I think that's the kind of that if our culture is be good, do good, spread good, you're not going to find that on a resume. How are you going to find that on a
Yeah.
resume? Right? If that's your culture, you have to talk to the person. You have to look somebody in the eye and talk to the person, ask them the questions and just have a natural conversation. I always believed in that. Now, I'll usually look at a resume maybe after the first interview.
Like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, or be like, okay, what kid do they know Excel? But before I don't formulate. I don't know what the person looks like. I don't know anything. I have no bias. When you walk in, it's just mano a mano, and you haven't seen me, I haven't seen you, and we're on the same stage,
Yeah.
and we're just having a conversation. That's always been for me.
And what do you look for when interviewing? Like, specifically, like, what are you looking for in that person's answers to see if they're a cultural fit?
Well, I think the questions, I never have anything prepared. This is not prepared by me. It's Mark. And so I think most of my, interviews, if I'm talking, I just start with a natural conversation. And I see, how they can hold their conversation, how they're asking their question. Are they being honest? And I'll literally ask them like crazy questions, like, have you been arrested?
Yeah.
And or have you gotten into like a crazy problem that that you can get out of? Or I don't like to ask what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. I don't ask that. I really ask crazy questions. Have you done anything illegal? That's a question I've actually asked before.
Yeah.
And somebody actually legit answered that question and we hired that person.
Yeah. The other one I like is I like to ask, if you had $1,000,000, what would you do with it?
Yeah. Well, that's a typical question. Yeah.
I like that one because you could see, giving back, spend it all, save it all.
Yeah. No, but I think there's a lot of questions. I think we like to ask questions that are just off the wall
Yeah.
and to see it doesn't the answer the actual answer doesn't matter. It's just the I like the conversation. So if we're laughing about it
Yeah.
or like, when I asked the illegal thing, it was a beautiful answer. They were like, "Yeah, like I did this and it was because of this and it was because of this, but I'm trying to get on the straight and narrow and this." And I was like, "Okay, I believe you." And you saw it eye to eye. You're like,
Probably not even a legal question.
"Huh?
That's probably not even a legal question.
Tell me. I don't know. All right, cut this out."
Is
But
that anything illegal?
yeah. But no, but the honesty like really like it was moving. Like I was moved. Like I was like, "Wow, this is like I want this person." And that person like wanted a better life.
Yeah.
And when we hired them, and I don't know if you know who it is. So it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it wasn't that
Maybe it's Danny. I don't know. Yeah, see, I knew it was Danny. No,
criminal.
but obviously, when by interviews, like every interview is different, right? Just like you heard my conversation with the supplier, like there was no rhyme or rhythm. I mean, it was just off the wall, and
Yeah.
it's just how it goes. And I just gauge I think it's just gauging the person versus gauging a piece of paper. I think it's super important to just have that conversation. I think, and the other thing is like I always ask, like when I'm interviewing, it's like, hey, I hope you like the interview. And I'm really hoping they like me too, right? Like we're gonna be working together.
Yeah.
So it's not like the whole paper thing just throws me off because it's like, oh wow, you meet the requirement. Yeah, let's hire you.
Yeah.
So I think for me it's always like interview the person, not the resume.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a situation where it's like that person you thought was going to align with the culture and the business, but then just culturally they just didn't align?
So it, my philosophy on this is just a little bit different. I think that everyone to some extent can fit, right? It's the be good, do good, spread good. At the end of the day, everyone wants acceptance. At the day, everyone, they just want to be part of a team, and they want to help their family, and that's everyone. Like
Yeah.
interviewing so many people, it's just kind of been the theme, right? So I think everyone is a candidate, and has it not worked out? Yeah, it has not worked out, and I think mostly it's because a lot of folks come in, and I think we wanna help them succeed and help them grow, and we see the good in them, but sometimes they go astray, and yeah, it doesn't work out. It does happen.
Yeah, I think sometimes we wanna help them more than they wanna help themselves.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah,
It's like I said, we're giving them all the tools, all the things to be successful, but at the end of the day, if you don't want yourself to be good and do good, there's only so much we can do,
yeah.
you know?
But I want you to think about this, right? How much turnover do we have,
Yeah,
right? Most of the people that are working here, the longest is 10 years,
yeah,
and most people are hitting their 5 years, with people being at 6 and 7 years, right? Um, for you and I, that's almost a third of our life we've spent with them.
mm,
So the way we've hired and the way of our culture has gone, I don't think we're doing anything. I don't think we're doing anything wrong, right? And I think the culture that we've set and the way we hire people, the expectation and everything else, I think it's not been the best the way we've done it because we don't have experience and we're learning as we go.
yeah.
But I think it's worked for us, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's been 0 to little turnover, and
Yeah,
that's a huge benefit, and it's a we're blessed with that.
yeah,
But I think that's where business owners might think, spending all this money on culture doesn't make sense. But then you look at this side that we don't have any turnover. Do you know the expense when you have to turn somebody over and get somebody new in there and you got to train them and they have to make the same mistakes and all the money that goes into the training and all the money that goes into the mistakes they made? Well, why don't you just take that money and put it into your culture and
mhm,
not have turnover, you know? And your team will be that much better.
yeah,
And I think that's a huge competitive advantage that we have at MakerFlo is our team because of the culture and because of the no turnover. Our team knows the ins and outs. They're farther educated than we would be if we had a lot of turnover and having to keep training people and learning. We have the same team that's been here for 5, 6, 7, almost 10 years.
yeah, yeah. I think it's been incredible. So, and I think the other thing is we're also we know each other so well. We work together so well that it's become a family, and we can be honest with each other, and we can not, and we could really like confront people and be like, "Hey, you need to do this better. You need to, do this. You need to do that." Like, there's no like. I feel like if there's a lot of turnover, you can never tell. You can. I can go and I can be comfortable to Jesse and criticize him and be like and constructively and be like, "Hey, you need to do this better." You know.
Mhm.
And like I expect, and I know that Jesse's not going to take it personally, and we'll have a conversation about it and move forward. So I think there's a lot. I think that the stress that it relieves off of everybody is great, that everyone knows that you can come talk to us or we can go talk to them.
Yeah.
And so I think all these things, I think these are all little things. They're like these cultural things. When you just look at it as one, it's just like, well, what difference is it going to make? But I think for us, like as we've built this, it just really stacks up.
Yeah.
It really stacks up, right? And it really makes a huge difference. So, so yeah, I think the people first approach that we've taken, like even when you look at the 5 things that we care about, it's all about the people, and it starts from the hiring, right? It stays over time, right? And we follow through with it. We start with that. We have that people interview, and we make sure we care about them through and through.
Yeah.
And so I think that's super important. And that's something that we've really instilled in our culture, and I think it flows through very well.
Yeah. It aligns with our values. If it's like, if you ask yourself, if you have all the money in the world, what really matters to you and what makes a difference?
Yeah,
Well, for me, it's like seeing joy in other people. I would love to share, my future wealth and money that we get with people that matter to us, and that's my team. I
yeah,
want to see joy in them. I want to see them succeed. That's what brings me happiness, and I think we're aligned similarly. That's why we give back to our team so much because I don't know if we had all the money in the world, like that doesn't make me happy. I'm not going to go, buy everything. No, I want to see joy in other people.
yeah,
I want to see them happy too, and that's what's the most fulfilling.
yeah.
For us, of part of the be good, do good, and spread good is seeing
Absolutely.
seeing that goodness spread.
Absolutely. So that's actually a really good segue into the other side of the 5 things that we talked about. So the 5 things is, more about MakerFlo culture,
Yeah.
right? It's about MakerFlo and MakerFlo's team, right? And we do this because, you kind of need the infrastructure to build a company and a brand. When you build that and you understand who your team is, then that entire community, that your brand, your company can actually then go and service. Who are we servicing? Our customer,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Right. And so we've been talking about the left side of the equation,
Yeah.
right? And the left side of the equation is important because until we don't have ourselves right, right? Until we don't have our teams right, until you don't have your, whether your mom's working for you, your friends working for you, your school person's working for you, whoever is working for you, whoever's working with you, side by side to you. If everyone's not on the same page and doesn't understand what you're all about, then the customer has no idea what your brand is, what
Yeah.
you service, what you do, how to support you, how to give you props. They don't know how to interact with you. So if you're confused in your own self and your own brand and your own company, you have your customer is going to be as confused, and it'll become difficult for you to grow as a business because your customer needs direction, right?
Mhm.
And they need to know what and who they're supporting.
Yeah.
So let's get into that conversation a little bit about, customer and community and how to build that through your culture. So MakerFlo has been around for quite some time. We have our Facebook groups, and we have our social media.
Yeah.
So let's get into, how does a culture show up, in our let's talk about our customer experience and our customer service experience. Let's talk about our influencer program and our social team, and what are we doing to make sure that our culture is following through to our customers and sort of the community, and the
Well, I
industry.
think one thing we do is our team is a visible team to our customers, and that's how our culture in one way shows up through our customer experience, is that we don't hide our team members. And I love that because you wanna know who you're doing business with, and people will do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Yeah,
So we show our team as much as possible. They have their own dedicated team page on our website where our customers can go and see who is working on their orders, who is handling their packages, who is bringing down the forklift, who is calling and, taking phone calls. And I think that's huge because they can connect with that and be like, "Wow, MakerFlo is an open book." They are showcasing their team members. They're taking pride in their team, and the team is on there. They know they're on there. They're taking pride in their work, and I think the customers really connect with that. We also put the packing stickers on packages where we have these little your order was shipped by, and it's got the person's name and their little character cartoon head that we put on there of their face, and I think that connects with people as well. They're like, wow, this person took pride in this package and they put their sticker on here, and our customers really connect with that.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think the stickers have been, fun for I think people collect the stickers.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think that's a lot of fun. I don't know where my sticker roll is, but I see my stickers, out there. So someone's putting them on there. But I have packaged in the past. It's not like,
Every once in a while, we'll get in there and throw a few stickers out there.
yeah,
So if you get a John and Mark, sticker, it's like one of those rare Monopoly McDonald's tickets, and that'll be like your winning piece when we have a competition of collecting all the stickers.
yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, um, let's talk a little bit about, how how important it is that it's been difficult for us, like, we've not wanting to this is the first time we're sharing, like, what we do internally, at MakerFlo
Yeah,
with the outside world. We've been doing this for, like, years. This is nothing like we just started for this podcast. Yeah, I don't want people to think like, "Oh, free lunches? It started that yesterday." It's like, no, no, no. This is going on for, like, probably over 7, 8 years,
yeah.
something like
We don't
that.
really broadcast it though.
Yeah, we don't really broadcast it, but I you know, we made a conscious decision to sort of talk about it. And, for me, it's a bit awkward because it kinda almost, like, feels like we're tooting our own horn, like, "Oh, look, we do this." But I think it's more just, I think I've gotten over it, and I'm like, "Hey, like, it's good to share, to help others, to I think to let others know that you don't have to be nervous about creating your own culture."
Mhm.
right? Like just because this other company says that they don't do it for the bottom line, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. And I think that's super important because I think we get caught up in that. And there's so many conversations I've had like, well, when I used to work at blah blah blah, like that was not normal. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't. So like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Or if it was normal, maybe they shouldn't have, you know, done it. And I think it's up to you on what you create as far as culture goes, right? It's up to you once you understand your why, and it's kind of really up to you to kind of do what you want. And I think that's why I really like for this podcast I wanted to share some of the perks, like some things we didn't even share, like we have healthcare, we have the free gym membership.
Mhm.
I don't know what else. Oh, before we did free lunch, we actually have a private chef come. I
Yeah.
remember Jay.
And that's a great example of how a lot of times the perks can change and they can mold, and they're not always what the team wants or what they love. So we thought bringing in a private chef would be pretty cool. Everyone can kind of get homemade meals, more healthy meals. I think that was one of the requests we had, was more
Yeah,
healthy meals. But I think when you have the same chef for 8 months straight, it gets a little tiring. Some of the same food,
yeah,
so that kind of fizzled out. But it was kind of a fun time when we did it, and we gave that person an opportunity to start their business too as a private chef.
yeah.
So we opened up that doors for him to experience how to run that kind of business as a catering business and stuff, and let him go off into the races.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm really glad that we're sharing this because I really want folks to know that build your own culture. Don't feel too afraid to share it. I think it's really good. Like I'm really glad that we're sharing with you guys because I really want you guys to know that we're not. There's a new thing that I've been saying is that I'm not worried about selling 10,000 products.
Mhm.
Now I'm worried about how to grow 10,000 businesses, right? And I really want everyone to know that we're really in it for the people. Like we're really in it for our teams. We're in it for you, the business owners, and we want you to grow. And if we can do it internally, I want you to know that we're going to do it for you, our customers, right? We got your back because we've been doing this internally forever. So I think the support goes both ways, right? And essentially I want our customers to have that trust and know that, hey, we do have your back because we've been doing this for a long time internally, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's, for me, that's a great reason to kind of just let everyone know that, hey, let's do this together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's been like 5 years, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. We've had our culture. We've had this. So tell me this as a review. What is there one thing that you want to see changed in the Maker Flow culture?
See changed?
Yeah. Do you think there's anything that we should remove, or do you think anything we should add? Or have you ever felt like, hey, maybe we need to change this or that in our culture and how we run things? Have you ever had doubt on the way our culture has been, or
No.
do you believe in it and you carry?
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to consistency. Yeah, we can talk all these things, we can put all these things in place, we can put it on paper, but actually doing it and being consistent in it and showing up every day and providing these perks and benefits and living the culture day in and day out, I think makes a difference. This year we've gotten a little bit away from the company events. And we're like, "Oh crap, it's been like 8 months. We haven't done a company event. Like, what
It's
happened?"
weird.
Like, oh
Yeah.
my God. Like we used to do like, 5, 6 a year. And then this year's been so busy, we haven't, and I take a little bit of fault at that we have done a bad job at planning that. But I think the consistency matters, and our company events is huge because, like I mentioned, some of them are with family members, and
Yeah.
our team can bring family, and some of them are just the team where we can really spend time intentionally outside of work and create those bonds and create those friendships and spend time together. So I think we have one coming up that we're going to be announcing to the team soon, and it's one of the team favorite outings is going bowling.
Bowling.
And what we do is we actually close shop an hour early, and they still get paid. And we head to the bowling alley, which is just a few minutes down the road. And we've got, pizza, drinks, and wings, and we have a good time. And they can stay longer if they want. And we just have a little party, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just like, hey, it's time to hang out as a team and just
Kind of
share
outside work,
stories.
but not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it's cool that you leave work early. You're still getting paid to have fun. I mean,
Yeah.
who does that? That's pretty rare.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I agree with you 100% with that. Um, Let me ask you this question. I like this question a lot. So when we had first started our business, I remember we used to imagine what MakerFlo would look like 5 years from now. We were like, oh, we want to be in a building. We want to have a PA system. We want to have
Yeah.
this. We want to have that. So let me ask you this: where do you see MakerFlo in 5 years, based on the culture we've built? How do you envision this family growing, and what can you visualize like 5 years from now?
I mean, I still have those aspirations of, that dream building and that dream warehouse, of 100,000 square feet. But a lot of that square feet is dedicated to our team. We've talked about having even like a little barber shop in the building, Just you just need a little 10 by 10. That person can run their business, but our team can get a haircut at any time or day. Like that would be freaking phenomenal.
I know. I remember us talking about it where it's like we sublet it all out, but then like there's a membership model where everyone can like go get a pedicure, manicure, and it's all like right there. Yeah.
Like, these are dreams and aspirations, like, what an incredible culture. What about having, like, a full-time, like, daycare? How many of our team members have children or children on the way? Or if they could just bring their child to work and it's, their baby is at the daycare center, and we have a nanny or babysitter there to, spend time with them, like, that would be an incredible perk. For me, it's like a basketball court, like a half basketball court in
Yeah.
in our warehouse, and having that kinda culture where we have a gym and people can come early or stay late and use the equipment and play basketball. And these are visions that I have, 5 years from now that I would love to see MakerFlo grow into.
Yeah, and all these things were done because it's all about the family, it's all about that, like, you can bring your wife, you can bring your mom, you can bring, your family, your friends, and you can all hang out, and it's mostly for me, it's like, I think the work culture in America is so tedious, it's like, "Okay, how do we get more of our loved ones, and how do we spend more time with our loved ones?" And I think that's, like, so important to us, so I do remember that we had thought about that actually a long time ago. I kind of forgot about it, and now it's, like, coming back, like, "Oh my gosh, yeah." That's exciting,
Yeah.
And then that gives me the motivation now, like, "Oh, man, like, let's go get it."
Sure.
And I think the cooler thing about that was, if I remember right, was that we wanted to also open it to our customers.
Mhm.
So, people came in and like, "Yeah, you wanna go get a pedicure?" Like, "Yeah, go for it,"
Mm.
and I think really like building this event where like the MakerFlow space is like
Yeah.
truly
Make
for
flow
everyone.
space.
Yeah.
We're giving other small businesses the opportunity though to have their own little successful
I know.
business. Got the barber doing his haircuts. He's got other clients coming in. You've got the manicure pedicure lady in there doing her thing,
Yeah.
taking care of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think community has always been at our heart. I think we've really like wanted the community to kind of come in, whether it's a customer or whether it's our own team members, and just kind of bring everyone together and let everyone know that we're on the same team. And that's like the big thing, right? We're all on the same team. We all grow together, and we all want to be successful down the road. So yeah, I think I keep trying to think to myself like culture, 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 and we were going all these tangents, but I mean, the culture and the space we've created is so exciting. We just want to talk about all the fun stuff. So it feels like we're all over the place, but it's just really, it just all stems from this exciting culture and giving everyone the opportunity to just have a good life and just understand that it's for everyone's growth. Like I think that's what it really just comes down to for me. So
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the relationship between culture of the team and the culture of the customers and that experience together because there's a theory that you've spoken about before about I don't know, was it squeezing pennies or like squeezing the last 10 cents out of people
yeah,
and what that ends up happening to your business and how it affects the customers. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
yeah, I can't believe you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's squeezing their last 10 cents. And so I worked in I was a financial analyst, and I took care of a lot of P&Ls. And what I realized was when I was working with these store owners, that they were just hell bent on this profit number, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing every little thing. Like we were like, we used to squeeze like, okay, I remember when I used to work at my company, that the Sparklets delivery,
Hmm.
they didn't pay for that. We had to pay for it. I'm like, "Really? For Sparklets delivery? Like, I'm paying $4 a month for Sparklets?" Right? And so, like, there's this theory that, that I kinda came up with is squeezing the last 10 cents is like, in your business, there comes a point where you squeeze so hard that it starts to negatively affect your business and your culture. Whereas if they just paid for my water, that $4 a month, I would probably be double productive, you know? So it's almost
Mm.
like you have to be careful and you have to like that last 10 cents is like, don't 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 squeeze the living crud out of, your like your numbers are there, they're important. Yes, you have
Yeah.
to be profitable. Yes. You know, but to some extent you start working it in reverse where you
Mhm.
squeeze so hard that it starts to hurt and you start to hurt your brand. And I think a lot of people just look at the bank account and they get stuck. But brand is a big thing, growing your business is a big thing. If we were to start squeezing, which I think we've never squeezed diddly squat,
Yeah, yeah,
everything's plump, so, but if we start squeezing, we could cut fat everywhere, right?
yeah.
But I don't think it's necessary. I think there's a line that you have to understand that, okay, this is not squeezing, this is not you making profit, this is you investing back into your company, your brand, your people, your customers, and you might not see it today, but I guarantee you will see it tomorrow
Mhm.
because MakerFlo has been here for 5 years. And the people that work for MakerFlo have been here for more than 5 years.
Yeah,
And we have customers that have been with us for more than 5 years. So I think it's a testament that you don't have to, you know, be uber profitable,
yeah,
right? As fast as money comes in, it goes out. And I think you and I know that very well, right?
yeah.
And if you don't pay attention to what you've built and what you're growing, man, you get taken out.
Yeah, I could only imagine your mindset when you saw that $4 deduction from your paycheck for Sparklet's water.
Oh, you think it's a deduction? No, 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 no.
What?
We had to call Sparklets and make our own delivery. It wasn't even, they didn't even took it as a deduction. We had to actually set a water delivery to the 7th floor of the building ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
That just changes, like, the whole mindset of the team. It's like, "Wow, they're really gonna squeeze us this hard? Well, yeah, wait, watch me what I'm gonna do to you,"
Yeah.
And it starts working reverse, like you said, now your team's turning against you.
Do you know what happened? I took 8 coffee breaks
So
for a
you took
$4.
every break possible,
I
huh?
took every break
To
possible.
the max extent of time.
Have you ever peed for 4 minutes or 5 minutes? I don't need to, but I can. No, well, I was 17 years old, right? And so that hurt. I'm like, really, $4 for you're gonna take water, and I have to figure out the water myself.
Yeah,
And then I took every opportunity to not work. And of course, I was immature back then, and things have changed, and I'm not
yeah,
like that anymore. But it does feel which way. And then when you don't get raises, and then see every little thing that's good that I was talking about earlier, little things add up to make big good. Well, little things that you don't take care of add up to make a big bad. It
yeah,
works both ways,
yeah.
right? So when you don't give me a raise, now you're and I got to pay for water. Now I got to do this. Now I got to do that. It just adds up and makes it worse.
It's like, as a business owner, I feel what came to my mind is when you pinch a penny, you're gonna lose a dollar.
Mm,
Pinch pennies, lose dollars,
yeah,
because if you're taking away all those perks from your team, they're gonna try to get one over you, and they're gonna start costing you dollars.
yeah,
So that's the whole other side of the game is, well, let's give our team everything
yeah,
so that our team can have that positive attitude, so they can be good, do good, and spread good.
yeah.
So stop pinching pennies, everybody.
Yeah. Well, stop pinching pennies and stop just looking at the dollars.
Mhm.
You gotta look at you gotta focus on your culture. You gotta focus on your why. You gotta focus on your brand, and you gotta focus on whether you're just doing it for you
Yeah.
or whether you're doing it for the
Well,
community.
where this comes into play too is we talked a little about hiring, but just to double back to the hiring part is we've never hired solely just on money, because we have all these awesome perks. It's like, guys, really think about all the things that we're offering you.
Yeah.
If you really calculate everything we give, the gym membership, Dr. K, health insurance, free food, paid lunches, you get to go home an hour early because you're getting a paid break, all these things, it adds up. So it's a way that we hire, and it's like, if all you're concerned about money and making the most money ever, then maybe MakerFlo is not for you.
Yeah.
That's kind of culture that we've established is we want people to enjoy coming here and not be so concerned on the dollars.
Yeah. And yeah, I think we calculated it last year with Vinny, and I think it came out to something like it's like 14 or $15,000 per year in added perks. And so, yeah, I mean, I hope the team enjoys it,
Mhm.
because it is truly for them. Like, we don't have to do Dr. K and all that. It's just literally a straight expense for you and I, but we really want everyone to want to have a good experience while you're here, while they're kind of here. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, all this stuff, I just really hope that all these little things, all these perks, this culture, I hope the customers really feel it every time they interact with us. Every time they interact
Mhm.
with a team member, whether it's Sam on social media, whether it's Danny on the live, whether it's Mel at customer service, whether it's you and I on the phone, whether it's Moose on the phone, and we really hope that these little things add up, they're instilled, and then in the worst or the best of times, that culture really comes through.
Mhm.
So I think
That
that's
is that your takeaway?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think I think in the long run that and I think I really want people to understand that it's not a 5-second solution.
Yeah.
It takes time. You have to build it, right? And if you build it right, and you stick to the guns, then it's instilled. Once it's instilled, right? Once that culture is instilled in everybody, then it just automatically comes out when it needs to come out, right?
Mhm.
And you don't have to force it.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one of the most important points here.
Yeah. I think for me, my takeaway is that the culture is your competitive advantage as a business. It's not just a hiring perk, right? When we look at MakerFlo, we're competitively advantage over other businesses and other competitors because we have no turnover. We have a waiting list of people that want to come work here. Our team members don't go anywhere. Our team members do what's right when nobody's looking because of the culture that we've instilled. And I think that's one of the biggest competitive advantages we have. So we're trusting our team that they're going to do what's right when nobody's looking. So I bet you anything, you know, they're going to package the order right every time. If they got the wrong item, they're going to do what's right and put that item back and get the right item. They're going to pick up trash on the warehouse floor when they see it. They're going to do these little things that add up to big things and to eventually, essentially, savings for the business because we're treating them right. They're going to treat the company right as well.
Yeah.
So it goes all the way around to this competitive advantage that it's just fun doing. It's fun having these advantages. Like, who doesn't want to splurge on their team? When it's going to help the business grow and it's going to take care of their customers. And I think that's my takeaway.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I agree. I hope everyone else feels that way.
Yeah.
We're over here talking about this, but I really hope that well, I really hope that the team feels that way, and I really hope that the customers like you guys out there, when you interact with us, I hope you get the cordialness, and I hope everyone sees that MakerFlo is like a good place to be and hang out with and interact with. And like that,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, this whole hour is just literally I think that's like the end point of it.
Mhm.
We're hoping that MakerFlo is a brand that you enjoy, you believe, you trust. We're transparent. I hope that you trust. Like I think the big thing for me is you trust.
Yeah.
And then you end up relying on and hopefully and trusting that we help you grow. So
Absolutely. So let's wrap this up here and let's send this off. But end of the day, culture isn't just what's on the inside of the walls. It's really what customers feel every time they interact with your business. So I would love to hear from anyone that's listening. If you've got questions, about employees and team members and how to build a successful company, feel free to reach out, comment on this video, DM us, right? John and Mark is our new Instagram that we're running,
yeah.
and we'd love to hear feedback from everybody. And it's been a pleasure talking about it. And I can't wait to see where we're at in 5 years with the barber shop and the nail salon in our next building. All right, guys, stay tuned. There's going to be a few more people talking, and it's some of the team members here that have been working at MakerFlo for a very long time. So stand by and get to hear some awesome feedback and stories from themselves. Thank you guys for watching. Catch us on YouTube, Spotify, and all the other social medias that MakerFlo is on. And we'll see you next time on the next podcast. Thank you so much.
Funny enough, I actually I needed a new job. I at the place that I was at was it was very chaotic. No type of culture, no type of. It was just bad, and I knew that I needed to do something different, get out of there as soon as possible. And I happened to come across the MakerFlow um, ad, and yeah, I reached out, and the rest is history.
Well, nothing super profound, unfortunately. The job that I was working at the time, I really just I didn't like, and my friend worked at the sister company and told me I should check it out. So I harassed Mark and John until they hired me.
Originally, I was just looking for just a quick job. I was in between jobs at the moment. I was working at Pepsi. Uh, so I got in contact with her name was Christina, and she told me about this other job that was basically what I was doing at Pepsi that paid a little more, but then she really went ham into trying to sell me like this other company. She was like, it's a smaller company, it's like a startup company, but it's like family oriented, and everybody is like they're together, and she really went in like trying to sell that fact. So I was like, all right, I'll try it out. And then I went in, had my interview with Moose, and then Moose was trying to sell me on the same thing. He was like, listen, man, like this isn't like a regular company. This is real. Like we're all family oriented. We're all this. We're all that. And then over time of just me being here, you get to see like they meant what they said. So that's how I started here. But that's the fact that it proved itself is why I stayed.
I think a few words wouldn't do its justice, but it's one of a kind, and I'm glad to be part of it. I've never been part of something like this, and it's really hard to believe what it is. I've always told the story about who I work with or the company I work for, and it's mind blowing to people that don't know MakerFlo and the stuff that we are able to do, not just as a company, but as individuals here and the perks that we get. So it's, yeah, like I said, small words wouldn't be do its justice.
I would say hectic, but fun.
Yeah, family laid back. Everybody's kind of together. I think together is probably the best one.
My favorite part of working at MakerFlo is when things get too stressful, I can just craft. I have a wide variety of responsibilities here, and because of the different things that I can do, let's say I'm overwhelmed with one project, I can stop that for a little while, do something else kind of crafty, and go back to it with a clear headspace.
The learning aspect. For me, one of the biggest reasons on why I like being here, besides like the family aspect of it, is how closely we work with the owners. Like I don't, I've had other jobs where I've worked with like the owners before, but that's not something that I take lightly. To be able to see how they built the business, and then given like COVID and tariffs and everything that's going on, like economically wise, how they're keeping the business, and then how they're able to adapt the business. So just getting behind the scenes looks on how like a business is built and able to last through all of this is it's invaluable.
The people. I've gotten to meet some incredible people, not just Mark and John, but everybody else here, from our crew here in the social media part to everyone from the warehouse. And I think again it goes back to the culture that we've been able to build and grow, and it's just been amazing.
To be honest, probably I don't know. It's not like a momentary thing. I can't think of a moment. I can just think of like outcomes. Like this department, like going from non-existing to where it is now. Everybody like where they are. Like Jesse was like a picker and a shipper, and now he like is in charge of so much. Sam came in as customer service. Now she's in charge of an entire department. You were a pick and lead. Now you're like super technologically advanced and making all of our ads. So it's not like a momentary thing, but it's just outcomes over time.
Um, I feel like they happen pretty often here, to be honest with you. So I'd have to go with something recent. And it was at one of the conventions we went to at the Next Level Laser Conference. I hadn't been to a specific like engraving conference like that before, and I got to meet an influencer that we've been working with for, gosh, close to 2 years now, I want to say. And when I saw her, because it was the first time in person, like we both ran to each other like in one of those like movies. So yeah, I think that would probably be my most recent happy moment.
Um, just one because it's been so many. If I have to pick one, I think it has to be um, being able to finally do what I enjoy the most, and that's being creative behind the camera. Um, I've gotten the opportunity to. I started in the warehouse, and where I am now, I think that's probably one of many, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's been awesome. Uh, it'd have to be something with probably laser engraving, and our wood products and building something, because again, the foundation that has been laid for us, I think just adding more to that build is what keeps us going. So I think it'd have to be some type of laser engraving resin project to build together and keep building up, if that makes sense.
So I thought about this, and it would have to be an epoxy glitter tumbler, because epoxy has like a work time, it has specific requirements for measuring, it's all very planned out. But when you add the glitter, like that's the chaos, right? So like you do all of this planning and all of this, making sure things are done the right way. And then by the time you're adding glitter, it's organic, and what happens happens, and you kind of just have to keep layering from there to make it a good project.
From my experience, where my position lies, I would say something like a UV resin craft, because it's very attention to detail. It's very temperamental. Like the smallest thing that you overlook in the beginning can have massive effects in the end. So I'd probably say like any UV resin craft.
I think a fun fact is there's maybe 10 of us at this company right now. I'm thinking of like who is here on the ground floor, maybe 10. I think I could count them all on one hand. Or I'm sorry, two hands.
We are who we are is exactly who you see. There's no difference between what you see in our lives to what you meet in at the trade shows. We may look big, but we're not. And I think that's what gives us the edge. And you're getting exactly who you see, whether on an ad or on a live, like I said, or someone teaching a class. This is who we are, and I think that's one of the best things that MakerFlo is proud of. If we're individuals and we are able to shine in our own specific way. And so yeah, I think that's what it is.
From the outside, I would probably say the amount of things that Mark and John do in the warehouse. Like not like they're the owners, they're out making these gigantic decisions, which they are, but like the amount of times that they've picked and shipped and unloaded containers and like just the little things. The amount of like actual work that they do is people would probably be like, why? That's probably one thing that they don't know.